To solve the problems that face our country, and which party is accelerating us towards unnecessary, avoidable disaster.
Yep. And he went on to say,
At the end of last week, I filed cloture on proceeding to the continuing resolution sent to us by the House of Representatives, which, among other things, would prevent a government shutdown and suspend the debt limit so we can pay for our debts incurred during the previous administration. In a few hours, we will vote on cloture on the motion to proceed to this bill. The Democrats will do the responsible thing, the right thing, the thing that's been done for decades by both parties, and vote yes.
Mm-hmm. And then he finished off with this.
Now, if Republicans follow through with their plans to vote no, they will be on record deliberately sabotaging our country's ability to pay the bills and likely causing the first ever default in American history. The consequences of a default would be, in the words of Secretary Yellen, catastrophic. The best case scenario is, the best case under this awful situation is that our country would fall into another recession, potentially erasing all the progress we have made to pull ourselves out of the COVID crisis. That is, if we're lucky. Otherwise, one analysis warned that default could hurt Americans for generations.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's absolutely right. And he did. Basically, the Senate Democrats all voted for it. It went down because no GOP member voted to proceed. So what Chuck Schumer had to do was switch his vote from yes to no so he could preserve his procedural ability to bring it back up again. So if anybody's wondering why it's a dumb rule, I don't get it.
I don't get it
He
either.
should be able to bring any. He's the leader of the House,
Right.
of the Senate. He should be able to do anything he wants, as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I mean, he was absolutely right, and that's how the messaging needs to go with the Democrats. The Republicans want to screw things up. We want to fix it. They're voting to screw their own people over, you know?
Exactly.
And look who I have. I have Poo Poo Bear. Let's hope
Poo-poo
maybe
Butt?
the iPad's working for me today.
Poo-poo pants?
Hi.
Hi, it worked. Yay. Hi.
Karen.
Hey, so listen, I just think that it is so critical that Democrats message this and Chuck Schumer messages this. What the Republicans are basically doing, it's like if I go ahead and I run up my credit card and I surpass my limit, and I decide that instead of calling my credit card company to have them extend me some credit so that I can continue to make good on the debt that I incurred, right? I go ahead and I say, you know what, forget it. I'm not paying any of it. And I default on it. What that does to my personal economy is it pretty much tanks it. My credit score goes way down and people don't want to take a risk on me anymore. And so that's what it is. Put it in terms of, this is like a personal analogy so that people can get what this means and expose these guys once and for all for not being fiscally responsible.
Right.
This is who these people are. This is who they've been since Reagan. And the games that they play with our money has led us to this critical point.
You're absolutely right. And the other thing, I mean, you say it, but basically this is not future spending, and that's what Mitch McConnell is arguing. Like, this is about future spending. No, it is not. This is about what you guys ran up $7 trillion worth of debt, plus what we did in the beginning of this year to save the economy for COVID response. So that's all that Joe Biden is responsible for, is what that bill represented, which was not the $7 trillion that Trump's people did.
Yes, and expose it that, you know, Republicans will give huge tax breaks to the very wealthy and corporations, and they will get us into two wars and not have any plans for how we're going to pay for any of it. And when Democrats spend money, it is investing in the country. It is investing in our infrastructure. It's investing in our people.
That's
and
the
so
word,
that is the other thing. We have to make that differentiation. Democrats, yes, they're going to spend money, but it's an investment, and it always has a return that strengthens our economies and makes it possible for our personal economies to be better then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you sitting outside to hear birds?
Yes, I am. I just got in my car.
Atta girl.
Birds.
No, you're absolutely right.
So
And they need to just kind of, they need to put the onus on the fact that the $3.5 trillion package that is future spending is already paid for in the language of the bill as it is today. So for them to go tax and spend, yes, they are not taxing. They're just getting what we're owed.
Right.
You know, we are owed this money from these very wealthy people and very, very wealthy. When a corporation pays zero in taxes and gets a refund from us, and they're making billions in profits, that is insanity to me. Because if I made $1 billion, I wouldn't be able to get away with that as a human.
Absolutely.
So, yeah.
I mean, we have to do something about the tax codes that allow, the very wealthy to be able to have loopholes as far as, their investments. Instead, we're all paying our income taxes. But they're getting around, they make money off of investments, and they're not paying their fair share.
And that's the thing,
so
if you make money on money, you're just capital gains, which is a very low tax rate.
Right.
Versus when you are earning a paycheck, thankfully you've got your Medicare and your Social Security, part of your payroll taxes, plus your federal income, plus your state income taxes. So it's a lot more money out of someone's check than just earning 3% in an account somewhere.
Right, and their tax breaks never go away. And the one, the scam that they just passed, ours ends what? Is it 2024? I forget now. I think
it's 2022. I think it's at the end of this year for the election year.
All right,
yeah.
So, yeah. Okay. Well, here we go. So then that means, we have to just hammer it home, and Democrats need to, message it. I know I saw a tweet by Steve Schmidt that was exactly calling them out for this.
Good.
So I think, let's amplify these former Republicans and conservative thinkers, and, because they're saying exactly what we're saying now. So, and I don't know where they were before, but, at least they're coming along now and telling the truth.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're listening to economists and big business, because if we default, big business ain't going to like that, and Republicans would like their donors to stay on their side, I am sure, and constituents. I mean, it's insanity to think that we would default on our bills, and the debt ceiling is stupid anyway. We shouldn't even have to bother with it.
Absolutely, I agree. So anyway, well, thank you. You guys are doing a great job.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you, Karen.
All right, bye-bye.
All right, love you guys. Have a good one.
You too. Yeah.
She's right. She's absolutely right. And I think that what I've been reading with Speaker Pelosi, she sounds like she's going to put the vote to the floor on Thursday. Is what it's looking.
It looks like it. Yep. No matter what the vote is going to be, she's going to bring it to the floor on Thursday.
Yeah, and she usually doesn't bring a vote to the floor if she doesn't have the votes.
Right.
That's how she does things.
Right.
So she has the progressives at bay at the moment, because she's going to go on the bipartisan bill, it looks like, for Thursday. So it's going to be up to the progressives to unfortunately have to sit down for a second, because the bigger bill won't get passed if this, trust me, it won't. And it was, who was it? It was Ilhan Omar. She said it's about the priorities that are getting funded and specific policies we put first, not necessarily the number.
Right.
It's like, if we at least put these policies in place, we can add money to it later. So she's thinking smartly.
Yep.
That's how you negotiate.
Exactly.
And Representative Ron Young is his name?
Okay.
No, Don Young, because I know a guy named Ron Young. He's a singer.
Oh.
He's a singer in Little Caesar. Some Republicans did signal plans to vote with Democrats on the package. It's a working piece of legislation that will build and put people to work. Representative Don Young from Alaska, he's GOP, he's the dean of the House. He said others spoke out against it despite negotiating with Republicans and Democrats in the Senate. So good for the guy from Alaska, because it's going to help his constituents. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, I don't understand, especially the senators that are up for re-election, not wanting to be able to go home and go, look what I did.
Yeah.
That makes literally no sense.
They've been calling out Mitch McConnell because of all of the money that's going to be going into his state
right.
with these bills. There's a ton of money going to Kentucky is one of the biggest beneficiaries of federal tax dollars because they've got Fort Knox there.
Right.
It's a huge place. And so, I mean, they're just calling out McConnell for his hypocrisy about this whole thing because it's helping his state out the most. And he goes home and brags about it.
I mean, do we even need to do a commercial for the Steph store? I mean, the shirts are flying off the right. Look at this. Look at it. Get your face
Look
up
at
there.
that.
Get your face up there. Look. We have them for Team Pfizer, Team J&J. We are all Team Vaccine here. We have amazing.
That's right.
And you can get it on everything. Right, Chris? Not just shirts.
Bath mats, shower curtains. You can get it on art, a clock. You can get a
Duvet.
selfie bomb on a clock.
We have Stephanie Miller swag. We have sexy liberal swag. And, of course, all the vaccine shirts. Get it now. StephanieMiller.com. Whee!